Well, good evening once again. Day 1223 of the Trump administration. 161 days to go until the presidential election. All day long, we've been on the precipice of that gruesome benchmark of 100,000 deaths in this country. As of this hour, 99,638 Americans have died of the coronavirus. All the lives lost have been lost in 12 weeks' time. And amid the loss, the president remains focused on moving the country further along on what he likes to call reopening, and today predicted we would soon see breakthroughs in treatment.
I think we're going to have therapeutic remedies, and I think we're going to have vaccines very shortly. I've been saying it very shortly. I think I'll be proven correct. We're safely reopening our country while aggressively protecting the vulnerable.
Meantime, the presumptive Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, did weigh in on the pandemic's death toll this afternoon with his own assessment of Trump's response.
100,000 deaths. 100,000 deaths. And at least 35,000 to 50,000 were avoidable, but for lack of attention and ego. Columbia study showing that we could have, if you just started a week earlier, would have saved thousands of lives. I mean, this is a tragedy.
Former vice president interviewed by Dana Bash on CNN. Earlier today, Trump did seek to defend his handling of the virus, even amid this escalating death toll. Quote, "If I hadn't done my job well and early, we would have lost 1.5 to 2 million people, as opposed to the 100,000 plus that looks like will be the number. That's 15 to 20 times more than we will lose. I acted very quickly and made the right decisions." Even as we try to get back to life as we knew it, COVID-19 cases are tonight in the rise in those red states. There are over a dozen of them. The entire Southeast has become its own hotspot. This holiday weekend, large crowds gathered at a number of places across our country, including Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, where officials have had to warn those who visited Lake of the Ozarks to quarantine for 2 weeks or until they have tested negative for the virus now that they're back home. At the White House, Trump was asked for his reaction to the scene.
I'm sure you saw the images from over the weekend of people out on Memorial Day weekend. They were crowding pools, crowding boardwalks. Do you have any message for those people?
Yeah, always be safe. You want to be safe. We're opening up, but you want to be safe.
Meanwhile, the CDC offering new and updated guidance on antibody tests used to discover if someone has already had the virus and recovered. The agency says the test might be wrong up to half the time and that they're not accurate enough to use to make important policy decisions like whether to return to work or school. All but ignored amid the noise this weekend. The president called for schools to reopen, though parents, school districts, and the calendar get to determine that. Even amid the continuing health crisis, Trump is ramping up another giant distraction, using mistruths and made-up assertions to try to discredit voting by mail in our country.
Why should somebody who is afraid of getting coronavirus, going to public places, standing in a line, etc., why should they Why should they not be allowed to do mail-in?
When you do all mail-in voting ballots, you're asking for fraud. People steal them out of mailboxes. People print them, and then they sign them, and they give them in. And the people don't even know where they're double counted. People take them away. They force people to vote. They harvest. You know what harvesting is? They take many, many ballots, and they put them all together, and then they just dump them, and nobody has any idea whether they're crooked or not. We're not going to destroy this country by allowing things like that to happen. We're not destroying our country. This has more to do with fairness and honesty and really our country itself. Because when that starts happening, you don't have a fair, you have a rigged system. You have a rigged system.
No evidence to support any of those contentions. Trump also has been spreading falsehoods on social media, although starting late this afternoon, Twitter started adding links to fact-check the posts by the president. Tonight, Trump responded with this accusation, quote, Twitter is now interfering in the 2020 presidential election. Twitter is completely stifling free speech, and I, as president, will not allow it to happen. Finally, there's this exchange at the White House today. It touches on several topics. It nicely sums up the president's thinking and his choice of words. On the topic of face coverings, for starters, but also Trump's continued public trafficking in a debunked conspiracy theory involving a host on this network.
Mr. President, two questions about a couple of things you've tweeted about in the last few days. Were you meaning to criticize Vice President Biden for wearing a mask yesterday? And can you explain why you've been tweeting about a conspiracy theory that has been proven to not be true?
No, Biden can wear a mask, but he was standing outside with his wife, perfect conditions, perfect weather. They're inside, they don't wear masks, and so I thought it was very unusual that he had one on. But I thought that was fine. I wasn't criticizing him at all. Why would I ever do a thing like that? And your second question was? I couldn't hear you. Can you take it off because I cannot hear you?
I'll just speak louder, sir.
Oh, okay, good. You want to be politically correct. Go ahead.
No, sir, I just want to wear the mask.
Go ahead.
The second question was about your tweets about the woman who died, who you're suggesting that Joe Scarborough was responsible.
Yeah, a lot of people suggest that. And hopefully someday people are going to find out. It's certainly a very suspicious situation, very sad and very suspicious. Question, please.
I asked you not to tweet about it anymore, sir.
Mr. President, though, have you seen the letter that was written by her husband begging Twitter to delete your tweets, talking about how hard it's been for his family, for him to deal with that?
But I'm sure that ultimately they want to get to the bottom of it, and it's a very serious situation. I also saw a clip with Joe and Imus where they were having a lot of fun at her expense, and I thought it was totally inappropriate. No, it's a very suspicious thing, and I hope somebody gets to the bottom of it. It'll be a very good thing. As you know, there's no statute of limitations, so it would be a very good thing to do.
That's how conspiracy theories get perpetuated.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.